All right, welcome back, everyone. We're officially on day 4 of the 45 Days Data Analytics Challenge, and I am absolutely thrilled you're here for today's explainer. We are strapping in and heading straight into our SQL Command Center today to learn how to actively push information into our tables and, honestly, just as importantly, how to get it back out. So looking at our agenda today, it's brilliantly simple. Add data and retrieve data. As your guide through this digital landscape, I can promise you that these two actions are literally the most frequently used commands in all of SQL. If databases were a spoken language, adding and retrieving data would be the nouns and verbs you'd use in almost every single sentence. Okay, before we just start typing away, we need to understand exactly what kind of tools we're wielding today. In SQL, you have commands that build the actual structure of the database, like pouring the concrete for the tables and columns. But today we're focusing on DML, or data manipulation language. These are the commands that app developers, data analysts, and everyday end users interact with on a daily basis. They don't change the foundation, they handle the actual tangible information living inside the house. Which brings us to our very first core concept, adding data. Think of it like this. You've just built this massive, beautifully organized digital warehouse. It's got perfect aisles, shelves, labels, the whole shebang. But right now, it's completely empty. The insert command is essentially the specialized forklift we use to bring pallets of data into that warehouse and drop them exactly where they belong. So, simply put, the insert statement is your go-to tool to add new rows into a table. Anytime we need to store fresh information, whether we're adding new student details to a roster, logging an employee's record, or saving a brand new customer's purchase, this is the exact command that opens the gateway into our system. Let's actually break down the syntax piece by piece because it's highly logical. Step 1, you just type insert into, followed by the name of the table you're targeting. Step 2, in parentheses, you specify the exact columns you want to fill up. And step 3, you use the keyword values, followed by the actual data you're dropping in. So to add a student, it's just insert into students' values 101, John 85. The only catch, you just got to make sure your values perfectly match the order of your columns. Now, here's where you gain some real flexibility. You don't have to painstakingly insert just one single row at a time. If you have a massive list of new students or customers, you can efficiently batch insert multiple records all at once using comma-separated lists. This saves a ton of time and keeps your code looking beautifully clean. Just a quick heads up though, depending on your database system, there's often a cap. It's usually about 1,000 rows in a single massive statement. For anything larger than that, you just run multiple statements. Okay, so we've successfully dropped our data into the system. But data just sitting in the dark isn't doing as much good, right? We need to be able to see it. If you look at the comparison here, contrast the insert command on the left, which pushes data in, with the select command on the right. If insert is dropping the box in the warehouse, select is the high-powered flashlight we use to find it and pull it right back out to our screen. And that brings us right into the discovery phase of our journey. Retrieving data with select. Once your tables are packed with thousands or even millions of records, you absolutely must have a reliable way to call that information back to your terminal. To get formal for just a second, the select statement is used to view or retrieve 0 or more rows of information stored in your tables. It's the primary method we use to access specific info from our vast data environment. And here's a really cool tip. Because SQL is a declarative language, you just use select to tell the database what you want to see. You don't tell it how to do it. You just let the database's query optimizer figure out the fastest possible way to go fetch it for you. Check this out. If you type select from students, you're using the ultimate give me everything command. In SQL, that little asterisk is a wildcard character. Slapping it right after select basically tells the database, hey, I want to see every single column and every single row that currently exists in this table. And boom, here is the concrete result of that exact asterisk query. We just went from abstract code to a fully populated results set, displaying every student's ID, name, and marks. Honestly, running a select star is a fantastic way to quickly explore a table when you first start poking around, just to see exactly what you're dealing with. But let's be real. As a data analyst, you rarely need to see everything all at once. That's usually way too much noise. So instead of that asterisk wildcard, we can specify our exact targets. By typing select name marks, we're narrowing down our digital search to pull exactly and only what we need. And just like that, the output on your screen totally slims down. The student IDs are gone. We're left with this pristine, highly focused view showing just the names and marks. It's a great demonstration of how precise and tailored your data retrieval can be once you really master the select statement. All right, let's take a quick step back here. We've been looking at a lot of abstract, glowing database concepts on the screen, but I want to ground these mechanics in everyday reality because it's super important you understand their true practical value. Why does mastering insert and select actually matter outside of this explainer? Well, it matters because literally our entire modern world runs on these exact two commands. It's fascinating when you think about it. Schools use insert to store a new student's details, and teachers use select to view their marks. Every single time you tap your card for a coffee, your bank uses insert to record that transaction and later uses select when you open your app to check your balance. Shopping apps, same thing. Insert to log your order, select to track its delivery. Picture this real-world scenario. A customer calls a support helpline and says, "Hi, I'm facing an issue with my last order." Now, that support agent can't waste 5 minutes manually scrolling through millions of spreadsheet rows while the customer waits. Instead, they run a simple SQL select query, and it instantly pulls up that caller's name, email, and recent orders. SQL is technical, for sure, but its impact is deeply human. It solves real problems in seconds. Wow, okay, we have covered a ton of ground today in our command center. Let's brusquely bring this to a close by summarizing the core mechanics we just learned. So just to quickly recap, day 4, the insert into statement is your tool to add and store new records. The select statement is your flashlight to view and retrieve that data on demand. Now tomorrow we're leveling up. We're going to learn how to use where conditions and comparison operators so we can filter our results down to hyper-specific criteria. It's going to be a game changer. But before I let you go, I'm passing the torch to you. Here is your day 4 task. I want you to write a query to insert 3 brand new records into a student's table. Once they're safely in there, write a select statement to display all those records right on your screen. You officially have the power to create and eliminate data out of thin air. So as your databases grow from 3 rows to 3 million, what hidden stories are your queries going to uncover? Have fun coding, and I will catch you in the next explainer.